intro and then going,
It's
so
not
we
gonna
live yet?
fucking happen today.
God,
Hang on.
so we live yet?
I think they killed Max.
All right.
We are live
Right.
now, by the way.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Welcome to the special plague episode of Europe, where
Oh,
most
God.
of us have some kind of debilitating illness.
We are all sick. And
Well,
not just
I'm
the
not.
normal,
I'm
not just the
perfect.
normal way. Well, shut
Well,
up. You're
Irish.
Sick 'cause you don't like, you're sick because you don't like steak and eggs, man. Fuck off. Anyway, hey everybody. Today we're all coming in a little low energy. We all kind of had shitty weeks and all whatnot. You know, Slur's just trying to overthrow like an English government and all that shit.
As you do.
So we're gonna. Man, I can't talk right now.
Would you like me to try?
We're gonna be covering a movie today that was actually really highly popular last month on Netflix, called "Don't Look Up." A movie that was surprisingly amazing, quote unquote. I would say that. How do we all feel
Yeah.
about that? Slur, start. Tell us how you feel.
I liked it a whole fucking lot. I was
Uh-huh.
kind of worried going in because of the comparisons that were being made. And I
Right.
kind of talked about this with the guys there yesterday, how when I saw it being compared so much to Idiocracy, it made me worried because Idiocracy is something that I thought was very on the nose, felt very true to life when I was a smug fucking teenager who thought I was smarter than everybody else. And that's kind of the tone that movie takes, which, you know, when it came out was also just kind of the style of humor, so it's not too big a slight in the movie. But this is very fucking current era comedy. But it's also something that could have been made in like 2014 before the talking points were what they are now, and it would have worked just as well. But the fact that it came out lately, like this year, within this year, is just, yeah, man, it hits different. It's a very well timed for what it is.
Mm-hmm. And Ninja, you were the one who actually suggested us watching this.
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell us what you think about it.
Yeah, so honestly, I wasn't expecting too much from it. I mean, I had seen the trailer; it looked interesting, but I kind of assumed it was going to be, you know, your typical Hollywood media is right, lefties are right, you know, all them stupid redneck type, you know, pushy, preachy movies. And I was about halfway, maybe 2/3 through it when I was like, "Holy shit, this has been really fucking good." Like, and consistently good throughout. So I was like, man, you guys have got to check this out. You've got to see this. And sure enough, it's fucking fantastic.
And it was so close to being that, but the fact is that, like, the Hollywood / corporate media world almost came out looking worse than anybody, and that was a huge saving grace.
Oh yeah, it was. I kept kind of waiting for it to happen, and it just never did.
Wyatt?
Bleak and depressing, especially the ending was, because as somebody who's for some reason exists to only have 5% fun in his life at any given moment. I liked a lot of the humor. There were times where I was just like, this feels a little too real.
Watching scientists go through the American media sphere was fucking anxiety-inducing.
I was gonna say, because you have a chemistry degree, don't you? Like,
even without like my own like scientific background, just watching someone ask, "Wait, hang on, I'm literally just telling people what I saw and what happened. Why is that illegal?" And someone in the room immediately like, "This guy, he's gonna need media training." And you know that. And then again later on, when they're on the talk show and it's like, "Oh, we like to keep the bad news light. It helps the medicine go down." And then she just fucking loses her mind. It's like, we're all going to die, assholes. And then they act like she's crazy. And as soon as he says the word Xanax, I fucking lurched inside because, like, dude, you just fucking crucified her. Why would you do that? And that only happened because I'm so familiar with how the media twists that shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, the more familiar you are with how this shit goes down, the worse this is gonna be in that regard. And worse in the fact that more effective.
I think
Great filmmaking, bad feeling.
the timing of a lot of the jokes really got me too. Like when Leo finally snaps in the newsroom, and he's like going on this massive rant, and then he's just in the van with the bag over his head.
The bag gag was pretty fun. There's a lot of really good jokes in this fucking.
I was gonna say, what's your favorite running gag? Mine actually does have to be the general one.
That's a really fucking good joke. And the fact that they like keep trying to theorize why the fuck he would do that.
He's a 3-star general.
Here's the thing. It actually does kind of track because that's fucking not just the White House, but here in Ireland, Arasa Nuachtaráin, the Dáil. Whenever you get like these massive political centers, you do get people just playing these weird fucking mind games with each other. It's the most bizarre cultural thing, but it is so true to human nature, and no one knows why. And then your man has that story of the stain. Bird, right in front of me.
And then
you know what? It worked.
And there's it's like he couldn't break change, so he essentially got like what $100.
He got $100 off the NASA defense fucking director or whatever.
For like a bag of chips.
Oglethorpe is his name.
Yeah, then when Jonah Hill, they try to give him the snacks later, and he just chucks them at them. You can just Jonah Hill just hates these people for almost essentially no fucking reason.
Jonah Hill is the MVP of the movie. I fucking love everything about him in the movie.
I like him in most scenes. There are a couple where
it gets too real.
Not even too real. Okay, the second time when they go back into the Oval Office, I noticed it like on a couple of his lines where it felt a little bit improv-y, whereas normally it just feels like he's playing a fucking idiot.
Mm-hmm.
I know, so it's like on a couple of those gags, it just felt like they rolled the camera on him and told him to be funny, and he just said something off the top of his head that didn't track with anything else. So there was a couple like that, but most of the time, yeah, fucking golden. Just like this absolute ignorant asshole.
I'm goddamn. What was his position? I forgot. Like I just watched the movie a second ago.
President's son.
Chief of staff. Yeah, he's like chief staff boy with a jacket tattoo. That one fucking got me. He's talking to fucking Kate.
I liked it when like the post-credits scene where it's just like, last man on Earth, like and subscribe.
Yeah. Like and subscribe, we out here.
It's lit.
It's lit.
And he had that weird obsession with fucking his mom too, and I was like, that feels like a Trumpism when he's talking about his daughter.
Well, I mean, we can talk about this a little bit where the first half of the movie, she could have been literally any American president. Like, they don't even say what party she's from. It's only in like that last third, you start getting like really on the nose kind of like Trump digs. But the fact that like the slightly incestuous obsession with having attractive family members, I mean,
if she wasn't my mom.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I can't imagine another president on a Playboy magazine. It's like, what the fuck? Oh,
and
dude,
he
so
kept
awful.
fucking saying it as well.
I know. It's so fucked.
Everybody wants to watch a smoker smoke.
And he's like, you know the bag they put on your head? Yeah, that's not FBI. That's
CIA. Yeah, that's the thing the CIA does.
I asked them to do that
because it was awesome and hilarious.
If I'm not going to the back, if you're gonna be a lot of trouble, motherfuckers.
One of my favorite jokes is when he's talking to her and he's like, "Oh, you want to come?" And she's like, "Well, yeah."
Yeah.
And then he just fucking slams the door.
Well, like it cuts back to him, and the door's already closing. Like you can't see Jonah Hill at that point because the door's already like 90% closed. It's like I said, there's somebody really grinded my gears with saying, "Oh, if this would be like Idiocracy, have had zero wit or humor," and it's like, dude,
the amount of people saying that this
shit
movie isn't funny
is
and
depressing.
like a lot of it's because they compare it directly to Anchorman, which has a very different style of humor.
I was gonna say that's a completely different style of humor,
but it's the same
joke
director.
Setup.
Oh, is it? Is that the only fucking through line?
That's the only through line, and that's it.
That's lovely. Good job, guys.
So yeah, basically, oh, this guy was great in Anchorman, but then he made The Big Short, and he got all that critical acclaim, and they fucking say critical acclaim like it's a bad word, and now he's like, he thinks he's too fucking good. He's doing all this social commentary, and like the dude fucking elevated his art form, and he was already in the top tier. Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no. Those people are sad, and that actually makes me sad. People can't.
I actually think I had it in like my little notes, of which I actually didn't take many, which is why I'm not really going to bother with them. But the people who think this isn't funny because it didn't make them laugh out loud like Anchorman are the same people who think Bly Manor isn't scary because it didn't make them jump.
That's all jump
like,
scares, right?
I can't imagine I could find one person who believed one of those and not the other.
Yeah. Movie's fucking funny. Like, movie's funny and horrifically depressing at the same time.
Oh yeah,
it's so fucked up. Like,
well, actually, a better comparison I've seen some people make is this and Doctor Strangelove, because it is also depressing in the fact that the jokes are true to life. Like it's funny because it's true, and also fucking terrible because it's true. Like holy shit, this is actually the world.
I've never seen Doctor Strangelove, so I'm not sure about that.
It's a good movie. I very much recommend it. The end of the world, according to a nuclear holocaust, which was actually a very pressing concern when the movie was being made.
Oh yeah, that's where the minutes of midnight.
That's where the comparison comes in. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And it's also just very funny.
Hmm.
Although the political world that one makes fun of is like the political world of like the 60s. So it's going to have a very different kind of vibe. Not all the jokes will probably land for us as they did for people back in the day. But I saw as a teenager in like the 2000s, and like I still thought it was fucking great.
Right. Oh man, I can't run Devil May Cry on like a PC. Sad face. Yeah, no, so I guess we'll start with the breakdown of the movie. The opening scene shows us there's something weird. I've never seen like an observatory open up like that. Do they all have fucking like mega lasers that shoot out?
Well, that's just a telescope.
Not a mega laser that you would see.
Yeah, it's supposed to be an infrared laser, right? Like that's the whole thing.
Depending on what it is they're using as a viewing equipment, you'll use different filters for observing different shit. But yeah, they would have like some kind of laser, or it would actually, it's not for observing shit that far in space. An actual telescope with your eyes would be fucking worthless. You have to use like spectrometers.
Gotcha. Yeah, I figured. I just don't. Like, I was like, why is this so fucking bright? Like, it doesn't seem right. But
what I will say is like just what a PhD student looks like when they're going to work in labs. Like the comfy jumper, fucking tea and toast on the desk. It's like, oh, that was all fucking spot on. Like even down to her costume.
I will say that there was a major plot hole right there at the beginning. She's using wired headphones, and the wired headphones get into the jam of her toast, and that's fucked up, and that shouldn't happen. So,
this movie.
I mean, she's on a PhD student's budget. She can't afford AirPods.
We need to talk about the more important thing that happened during that scene.
I showed how white I was.
Are you talking? Hang on, it's
what?
Not the scene. Okay. So we were watching. Me and Jen Wyatt, and Wyatt
and
said
Stacey.
something. It's well, Nubis girl. Wyatt said something that gave me pause. Wyatt, can you repeat your question that you asked that night?
So because I love just messing with these guys.
Don't give context. Say what you asked in the exact same tone if you could.
Is Wu-Tang a good band?
Bruh.
So, what's funny? I knew that was gonna get that reaction because I love fucking with Max.
A fucking word he says, but yeah, go ahead, Wyatt. Try to justify yourself.
No, I love just fucking with you. So I was just like, I know it's gonna fuck with him. So I'm just gonna ask. Like,
you didn't sound like you were ready to fuck with me. You asking a genuine
because I'm
question.
really fucking good at hiding that. I fuck with people for a
you don't
living.
listen to music. You're uncultured.
I'm pressing fucking X to doubt, bro. You were playing.
I've never listened to their music, but I know they exist.
Oh, you actually were asking if they were a good band.
He was asking. He legit was asking. He is not. He is trying to come up with some bullshit.
He's
like,
I'm not.
And it's
but-
not.
I'm really not trying to save face here. You guys really just don't think that. You guys don't think I can't fuck with you at any moment? I do this all the time.
You can fuck with us all the time, but problem is that wasn't a fuck with us. That was a genuine question you asked. I mean, it's like, what? I think even fucking Anubis was like, what are you talking about?
Because I essentially just emptied my brain so I could sound convincing, essentially. I was like, they're not going to believe me, so I have to essentially sound like the fucking...
I get it. Joke's on them. I was only pretending to be retarded.
Yeah, kind of actually was doing that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Anything to fuck
He's
with
so
you guys.
good at pretending he's retarded. He must be retarded.
Must be.
All I know is, like, I should have recorded that because that was an amazing reaction. It was just like, hey, is Wu-Tang any good? You fucking just, you may as well.
I paused the video. Like, I was like, listen here.
Listen here, you little shit. And I'm just like, I got my desired reaction.
Sure you did. I bet. Okay. Anyway.
I wonder if you guys actually just answered the question without reacting at all. If he would have said shit, because I don't think he would have.
No, he's absolutely compensating, 100%.
Just a little bit. Anyway, so Jenny Lawrence, Kate, I think Kate. Kate was looking into into space, and she sees something moving, and she records it, and there's a nice little like image of her like moving everything around and like seeing it, and she notices a comet, and that's what she calls all of her colleagues and her professor in to celebrate the fact that they made a discovery of something coming close to Earth's to our solar system, so we could actually see it. That's kind of like the whole deal. And I think they specifically say it would have came through when we were in the Dark Ages, so we wouldn't have had like
he says like long before humanity.
Oh, long before humanity? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is like we're going hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years.
Right. And so they start doing calculations, and like they're like, oh, how close is it going to get to Earth? And fuck, what's his first name? Because I keep wanting to say Mindy.
So
I just remember Mindy as well.
Yeah.
What's funny is they actually they start to celebrate with like basically what's left in the fridge because
that is very true to life to any kind of fucking office celebration.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, what do we have in the fridge? Oh, we got like a couple cans of soda, some food snacks, and Leo, who's by the way, so Jennifer Lawrence's character is a PhD student, like she doesn't have it yet,
PhD candidate is the word they use.
Yeah.
And Leo's like the supervising doctor over all of this.
Well, I assume it's her professor. That's because that's what they call him.
Yeah.
Leo does like the calculations, figuring out like its speed and destination, and then he's like, "How about we all take a break?" And then immediately just
no. He was specifically basically the circumference of the orbit around Earth, and one of the last numbers he comes up with is 0. And I
it was It's like, he's working it out and he's going through, and all of the students or the PhD candidates are there behind him, and they're kind of like going through it together. And he's working out, and it's like, he's getting his brain going. This is something he hasn't really had to do in a while, and he's getting in there. And as he's working it out, He goes like, okay, yeah, this it comes down here. It's like 0, 9, fucking 7, 8, and then 0 is like 8, 7, 9. It's like 0, so and then you just get to that last one where he goes 0.0, and then you just see his eyes fucking freeze. And he goes, no. And in my head, I'm like, okay, do it again. Like, show me an actual response. And then he actually does. And then we see him on the phone, and he's like, I've run it several times. I keep getting the same result. And that. Yeah, the attention to detail around how this is handled is very important.
Didn't they cooperate with somebody else too before that as well?
Yes, the head of NASA. And then talk about the visual humor of this fucking movie. They bring up the NASA orbital defense people, and the movie just stops and goes, "This organization is real. This is their logo." And it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah. By the way, this is actually a real fucking thing.
They kind of drop that like.
Well, I think it's only done for that one specific gag. I don't know if they do it for anything else.
There's like a little bit of like editing gags and shit like that. Puking into the trash can later. But yeah, for them, like the most part, that's like there for the beginning part, but it's like not really done like later when it could. I feel like it could have been. Yeah, but it is something. Like I said, it's still pretty effective.
It's a fucking great fucking joke because honestly, editing jokes are. I love the shit out of those. Not to mention, well, it's like the fucking in Hot Fuzz, the cake in the scene. No thanks, then leaves the scene. There's those type of visual gags.
So yeah, they start having a freak out, and like I just remember like watching this part, and like there actually being like a pit in my fucking stomach. I was like, ooh. Like, as soon as they said like 5 to, what did they say? 5 to 10 kilometers wide, and it's like,
they say bigger than the one that killed the dinosaurs.
Yeah, because the one that killed the dinosaurs wasn't even that big. I don't think. I gotta like re-look it up.
Well, the one that killed the dinosaurs was about the size of a decent mountain. The one in this movie is about the size of Everest, like the biggest mountain. That's kind of your comparison.
Was that ever confirmed, the whole meteor that killed the dinosaurs when it crashed, and that's how we got the moon?
What?
Different thing.
Yeah.
The moon happened very, very, very much before there was any life on Earth.
Okay, then that's just a thing that fucking weird science fiction stuff keeps doing then.
So, yeah, the planet was essentially a magma ball. Something hit the planet, and a chunk of it escaped the atmosphere of it, but stayed in orbit, and that piece became our moon.
Incidentally, that's how most planets have their moons.
Yes.
Correct.
But yeah, like I said, it was a ball of lava. It didn't have anything to do with life at that point.
Fair enough. Then yeah, that's just a weird thing that science fiction loves to do then, because they love for some reason that the meteor that killed the dinosaurs broke off a chunk and became part of. Just became.
I don't know that I've ever seen that.
Yeah, I don't ever think I've ever seen that. So I've sauce on that one.
I've seen a couple examples. The big one being Futurama.
Okay.
I think a History Channel documentary also did it, but then again, History Channel is fucking weird these days.
All right. So
is that it? Is that the examples?
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
I was gonna say I'm moving on.
No, we just didn't know if that was the end of the list. That's all.
Yeah.
Yes, from like to move on. Yes, that was the end of the list. Because I didn't realize that how much of a very much not true that was. I knew it probably wasn't true. It's just I was just like, what's up with that weird theory?
What's the deal with airline moons? Anyway, so yeah, they get in contact with the what was the exact name of his Oglethorpe's branch or whatever of NASA?
I can bring it up. Hold on.
There's something planetary defense.
Planetary Defense Coordination Office.
Planetary Defense Coordination Office, yeah. So yeah, they get in contact with him, and he realizes, oh fuck, basically, and from there, they're like, okay, we got to get these people to the White House. We got to get in front of this thing as soon as possible because the fucking world's gonna end. And they take the trip. Like, up to this point, it didn't feel like a fucking. It didn't feel like a comedy or anything. It felt like a fucking actual drama. Because yeah, they go from there to the C-130. They fucking like you get a nice little montage of them riding in it and getting to the White House. And then yeah, once they get to the White House, it's when the clown shoes starts fucking coming on.
Well, that's the thing. So they want to set up like a very serious premise, and the joke is people's response. And that's kind of the premise of the whole movie. Is this is a comedy about how the modern world would handle a crisis.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there are no jokes up until we get into the Oval Office, and the Oval Office is a fucking joke.
Well, no, it was a joke before the Oval Office. It was because there's a full bird colonel or a general, who who charges fucking.
We don't know that that's a joke until after the fact.
No,
Like, we think that's like completely normal until like the president arrives after that, and then we kind of like get yeah, we won't be able to see you. Jonah Hill comes out and says like, "I'm real sorry."
We're gonna get you. Blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, even up to that point, it felt like it was on. Yeah, we're gonna get you a hotel. We'll get done first thing in the morning, and that's what she goes to get. She goes to get snacks, and she's not charged $20 for them.
Yeah, and that's the turning point when she arrives into the kitchen, and she's like, and you just get like some standard White House worker on her laptop in the fucking canteen for some reason, and it's like, hey, where do I pay for these? It's like, but they're free. It's the fucking White House.
The White House.
And then that reaction, Jennifer Lawrence is just, oh my god. That is when the comedy starts. Like that's the moment. It's like, oh, here we go.
And you will hear like they will not let go of that joke, and it's fucking amazing.
Well, because like I said, I just rewatched it, and like there was the part where she like runs into the general when they come back to the house. She's like, "Oh, careful, I'll charge you for snacks."
He'll charge you for free snacks. Yeah.
I just like how when they're hanging out on top of that like that closed burger store, and she's explaining to fucking Paul. That's like, they charge you for fucking snacks. I love
hurting for money.
Yeah.
Like, he works in the Pentagon. He's 4-star general.
Because like, what did the I know we're skipping ahead a little bit, but what did the Oglethorpe say? Like, because it was it was when they were stuck in the office.
Like, this one time I met Sting, and he farted right in front of me. Didn't apologize, didn't do anything. I think it must be some kind of power play. And the thing is, it worked. I still found him quite endearing.
Got his autograph.
Like we said it once, I'll say it again. This movie's fucking hilarious.
This movie's great. Like, it's kind of awesome, and it totally has wit and humor. So I'm not just like she's not letting the fucking general go. I'm not letting that comment go.
Well,
anyway,
yeah. It's a fucking the person who made that fucking comment's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, and it's kind of upsetting because it's like it came from a group of people who I thought were supposed to be like objective and looking at media quality in a good light, but whatever, I guess.
I mean, yeah, I was looking on Critical Drinker Drunk posting, and they were also shitting on this movie, and it's like, guys, what the hell?
What are the major criticisms that get brought up? Because I think I don't remember if we were live yet, but I said a lot of the people who say that this movie isn't funny because it didn't make them roll around laughing like Anchorman did are the same kinds of people who say Bly Manor isn't scary because it didn't make them jump scare.
Yeah. Honestly, I haven't looked too much into the criticism. Yours kind of took the cake when I saw that shit, but we can get to there eventually.
Anything? Yours took the cake because ours were just simply it wasn't funny. It's like
weren't funny, lol. And it's like, okay, I'm sorry you leave a sadder life than I do.
Mm-hmm. So the they get delayed.
So they get delayed. They find out that the fucking 4-star general made $140 off of them.
Yeah, because he didn't have change for the NASA guy.
Oglethorpe didn't have change, so so he just fucking got like $100 off of him. Anyway, we finally get to the Oval Office. And yeah, it's a scene that happened.
Both true.
I mean, well, I was gonna say we could just get into it. The whole, I was like, oh yeah, we have end apocalypse style meetings all the time, and then like Jonah Hill, again, I'm the chief of staff of the White House, girl with the dragon tattoo,
Boy with the dragon tattoos.
boy with the dragon, yeah.
It's a fucking good line.
And then midterms are coming up.
Yeah,
because we wouldn't want this meteor to really fuck with our ratings instead of just, I don't know, saving human lives.
yeah, fucking Professor Mindy, like, is really fucking nervous, and he's like doing his thing. He's like trying to, like he's trying to word it in a way that would be easy to understand for normies, basically. But he's having a hard time because he's socially awkward.
And you do get like the chief of staff just being like, I'm bored. Just tell me what it is.
Yeah, but it's weird because like everything he's saying is pretty straightforward. It's like,
and you do get this
horrible
joke that calls back to it later on with NASA guy being just like, okay, remember, keep it simple, no math. And Leonardo DiCaprio's just like, but it's all math. It's like, yeah, trying to explain science to people who literally just want things explained in terms they already understand.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's not productive.
Yeah, it's kind of the whole with Bill, like last week tonight when they brought in Bill Nye in to do the global warming thing. It's like, no, I'm not gonna just do the fucking model with the Earth and the like setting it up. Then at the end, he just like, all right, here's a fucking model.
Well, so anyway, they get to the point where Oglethorpe just basically breaks it down. He's like, "This is a planet-killing comet, and it's coming to Earth." Like, and what's within 100% certainty? Well, a 99.98% certainty. Oh, so it's not 100%.
Oh, you get that whole fucking thing of scientists don't like to say 100% because it's pretty much never accurate, and scientists are about accuracy. But then you get the politician interpreting the science as like, okay, so it's 100%, it's 97. Let's just call it 70 and move on. Because the politician is working off of...
I was saying, it wasn't a politician, it was the president.
Yeah, and it was like, how about not?
Ideally should be a politician, but hey, that's not.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're saying, oh, just a politician. It's like, this is the president that they're talking to, and she's just like, yeah, let's call it 70%.
Yeah, I mean, it is the president, but that is just politics as well.
Yeah,
politicians will always interpret things as the story they're telling because they live completely divorced from reality. Yeah. So when reality comes a knocking, it's all about the spin. And that's what her entire part of this movie is, and it was actually really impressive to watch it play out. Because absolutely every single thing she does and says has to be twisted to make her look good, and it has nothing to do with the way things actually are. It's infuriatingly accurate.
To the point that when they bring them back again, I know it's jumping ahead a little bit, Jennifer Lawrence just calls them all out. It's like, no, it's because you're not doing great in the midterms. You just want...
Yeah, no, you send pictures of your cooch to your porn star boyfriend, and now your approval rating is down.
I love Jennifer Lawrence in this movie.
She plays it real fucking well.
And she's acting across from, like, Meryl Streep, who, and then immediately drops the act. It's like, yeah, that's kind of just it.
And she actually does it like a fucking petulant child, like, yeah.
And then starts smoking.
And she started smoking because she hid it. What was the whole thing? She's like, I hid it from everybody, but now when I did it, everybody liked me.
Yeah, my approval ratings went up because they were like, "Oh yeah, she's smoking."
Everybody likes how real she was.
I mean,
which
you say
kind
that
of sounds like a certain somebody who was in office not too long ago, but
yeah, President Bush. He was very relatable to a lot of people.
Sure.
Actually, you're not wrong. One of the whole things was like, I think when Obama was in his first term, somebody got a picture of him drinking a beer, and everybody was like, "Yeah, he likes beer," and it's like, "Fuck it, yeah, whatever." What does this have to do with his policies?
He likes beer.
See, they had to do that for every single president, and they're such obvious photo op moments. But for Obama, it was also just to kind of like deflate the energy they had to build up before he got elected. Because before he got elected, he's the guy who can get it done. He is professionalism if professionalism was a person. And then only once he was in power, they had to be like, okay, guys, he's not actually a messiah. I know we kind of built him up a little bit, but he's actually human. And it's like, yeah, okay, round we go.
Here's him eating a hot dog while Michelle looks fucking grossed out at him.
Anyway, so yeah, that's when they're like, yeah, we deal with world-ending events we get like 3 every week. Failing economy, blah 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 blah. AI, aliens invading.
I thought that one was pretty good because it's like that's also space related.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. They're like relating it to the thing. Like I could see where these guys are coming from in a weird way, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, when she actually just like tries to calm him down and present why she's reacting so nonchalantly, that is actually a nice humanizing little moment she gets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but she's also just a generally massive piece of shit.
Just a little bit.
Talk about good camera work too. You could just sense all the anxiety in Leo's performance as we're zooming in close to his face, as the president's fumbling around for his cigarettes, and he's shaking all of his notebook.
The fact that he was like desperately staving off a panic attack before going on TV, only to then absolutely crush it.
Yeah,
that is like also very fucking real. Because you get these people who they don't have media training, they don't really know what they're doing, but if they can actually practice at calming themselves down beforehand, like someone with anxiety would have to do, they're actually going to be more prepared than someone like Jennifer Lawrence's character, who didn't think that they would have to do something like that. And so they just went in completely raw, and they were caught off guard by how tilted they got.
Yeah.
and like the second that Leo gets on camera, they're not listening to his family's not even listening to his points. They're immediately like, "Oh yeah, they trimmed his beard. I like it."
Yeah.
Even
the fucking Ariana Grande playing herself, basically. And like, as soon as she breaks the story about getting back with her boyfriend, it's like, hey, my phone just went and automatically bought the fucking single. I didn't know do that.
Without even asking. And I love how even Uncle Thorpe is like, good on you. Like, DJ, whatever.
Say, hell yeah, DJ.
He is like, on the science side, but still, he's still a person.
When they're waiting to get into the White House, they're all just looking at Twitter. And he's like trying to comment, like, yeah, they broke up. Leo's like, I don't know anything about them. And Jennifer Lawrence is just like, I don't give a shit. What the hell?
It's a shame. Such nice young people. I don't know what, like, it's the wig that's throwing me off. I feel like I've seen him in something else recently. Fuck, it's driving me crazy.
I was gonna say, pull up IMDb and you'll be able to pull that out.
I do that.
So now they try to leak the story, and they try their best to go around the system, essentially, because the news has to get out somehow. Then we get introduced to totally not Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates.
Mark
Also,
Zuckerberg, Bill Gates,
Jordan
Elon
Steve
Musk.
Peterson.
Jobs, Jeff
Jordan-
Bezos. Just basically all of them, if they were rolled into one person and given Joe Biden's weird smelling people thing.
Can can I say can I say something? No.
Oh, that fucking hit, dog. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's literally what his character was.
So fucking true.
I like
Oh,
how
man.
with his character they say things like "Don't look him in the eye."
Don't
they
look him in the eye.
They gave him like galaxy brain level autism.
They really did. And I know how you're gonna fucking die, you bitch, because I got an algorithm. Why did he talk like Jordan Peterson? Actually,
That's what I was asking. He talks like Peterson. It's weird. It's really strange.
I always still like the. Can I say something? No.
No.
Just shut that kid fucking down.
It's gonna be the newest improved phone.
I find the bird quite aggressive.
Oh my god, the video.
Oh yeah, the dog and the chicken.
He's like, the phone will use an algorithm to read my mind and show me a picture. Oh, there it is. I feel better.
I was actually about to say, like, it says
what,
like.
What was that little girl thing? That was a weird thing they pulled. Because like
I think it's implied that she might be his daughter.
Again, that's weird.
Yeah, but it's just like this weird fucking disconnect because like all the kids come out and they're like, "Give me the phones; they don't belong to you." And then one of them's like, "Mr. Peter, I love you," and he's just like, he doesn't even know. So like, can we like improve the fucking demographic on like preteens, like children looking at bird videos or some shit? I didn't really feel that one. The bird was very aggressive.
What's on?
What? Shut the fuck up,
Meanwhile, he's practically pushing for like this weird, like in and of itself, this weird dystopian like phone system because it says your vitals show that you're sad.
Oh yeah,
This
that was
will
actually one of
cheer
the
you
first things that was like really exaggerated for comedic effect was just how uncomfortably invasive this fucking phone was.
I mean, we're not. I mean, we're
not
too
far
far
off of it.
off. I mean, with
Yeah.
as much as like Apple like loves to comfort people, it's like, oh, you could tell them not to track, but it's like the wording is very much giving away. It's like it's still tracking you because it's asked not to track, and it's just like,
Yeah, you can ask us and we can tell you to fuck yourself.
yeah.
Basically.
Do you want this to like understand your like social security and be like a perfect clone of you? Ask not to trap. Fuck yourself. Just everything. This will cheer you up, Peter, and then it shows the fucking puppy on a chicken.
Which is admittedly is a great video.
And you do
that
see
we later see
Mindy
in
looking at that video later on when he's just watching the news.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't notice that.
The thing. Oh yeah, the drop. Okay, can I say something? No.
No. Anyway,
they do the. Oh yeah, he also looks at the Zuckerberg Peterson also looks at the meteor path and starts.
yeah, he's looking at it, so he's showing interest in it. So, what's this mean?
Later? We get them in the little New York Times room where they're like, "Hey, you're gonna need media training and all this shit," and they're like, "What?" Then they get them all prepped for the news
For the
show.
not Young Turks.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the fucking Jennifer Lawrence explained to her boyfriend the situation, and he just freaks the fuck out because
during the hotel, he's like completely oblivious. He's like, "Why don't you want to meet my mom?" and stuff like that. And and she's like, "Can we meet in 7 months?" Okay,
that's weirdly specific and distant.
I just love that fucking shit. Like I said, Jennifer Lawrence is actually pretty great in this movie as well.
It's good at showing like the normal person's reaction because he almost immediately walks into traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just absolutely in fucking shock. He doesn't really know how to handle it. He's just dazed as fuck.
Which, to be fair, it's a pretty natural reaction to find out that, hey, everything's gonna die.
She's actually explaining it to him, and some randomer on the fucking street is like, what did you say? It's like, it's for a video game.
It's in a video game.
And then moves on. We get fucking Galadriel and Tyler fucking Perry. Just like, hey, let's, how do we, sugarcoat all this stuff?
Well, yeah, basically every fucking morning news show ever. Like, not actually, like, corporate media, but, like, morning news. It's like, this is your local fucking feel good before you go to work or some bullshit.
No, this is Today Show stuff. And,
Yeah.
like, they, of course, call it, like, the Daily Rip. And it's just like, oh, I see what you did there, like the Daily Wire.
I actually don't think I've ever seen the Daily Wire. Is it similar to the Daily Rip?
No,
Not
no.
really.
I'm assuming it
not-
is. 'Cause...
The Daily Wire, that's Ben Shapiro, so...
Oh, right. So, yeah, I was more right when I said, like, this is going to be every morning show.
Yeah,
Every
it's
morning news talk show.
Good Morning America, The Today Show. I was about to say 60 Minutes. That's a nighttime thing. While they're getting ready to go into the news thing, they're with Ariana Grande, who's just like, she's got her cronies.
She's like, you discovered a comet, right? I have a tattoo of a shooting star on my fucking leg.
Mindy's just trying so hard to be, like, actually nice. It was like, that's great. It's great.
And he then gives her a compliment, and then she's like, mind your own fucking business. It's
Wait,
like,
he
What do they have
doesn't
to
give
give
her
a
a compliment. He comments on her recent breakup, even though he's a complete stranger.
Well, to be fair, her recent breakup was the top of the fucking news, and she
Yeah.
It's also one of the things she was
Mind your
going on
fucking
to
business.
talk about. So it's like, yeah, it's like, mind your fucking business. But then it's like, when it's actually in front of the cameras, it is everybody's business. It's a public fucking event. Everybody's
Yeah.
invited.
Yeah, that's why I was just like, oh, go fuck yourself with that whole, like, mind your own
Yeah.
fucking business. Like, you don't have a private life anymore. Fuck off.
That's
the first
the
thing.
point. It's the joke. It's the fucking
Yeah.
joke. Why? That's one of the things you're supposed to laugh at that. Ha ha ha. Anyway, so yeah, this is probably okay. So anyway, they go. Like you said, what's his name? Mindy was killing it, and Jennifer Lawrence is a breakdown, and she starts screaming. Everybody thinks she's crazy, naturally. Like, yeah, if you saw that shit in real life, you'd probably think she's crazy.
Well, this is also just like the conflicting realities, because before they go in, she's just like, wait, hang on. They know why we're here, right? Right? And we're all just like, oh, they actually don't know. So the hosts think they're just gonna do like a normal fucking segment with some, I don't know, scientist or some shit. They don't know. And then she's just like, I'm talking about the end of the world, and you're just continuing to try to do your job as if you would do it for literally anybody else who was here. And they're just like, yeah, because we're
Yeah.
sane, and this is our job. And this is when, like, Jennifer Lawrence is like, you're going to fucking die. Reality is not conforming to your, like, perception of reality, that you're just coming to work and this is a normal news segment. And that disjoint is like how most people can't reconcile those two things if they're just stuck in their routine. It's a big part of the point in the movie.
Yeah, and to the point that they all think she's crazy. To the point she gets memed to death. Essentially,
Which,
she gets
again,
radioed.
she absolutely would have.
And I gotta say, yeah, this is probably like the least cringe meme thing I've seen in media in a while. Because it's like,
Oh my god,
these
you're right.
These are
Holy shit.
they're really fucking on point and fucking hilarious.
Look, yeah, compared to like The Boys, which is one of the big, like that's the example that comes to my mind with like media trying to do memes.
Oh
It's
my
like-
god, the boys memes were fucking
Exactly,
awful.
yeah.
They actually looped back around to being funny, which is very hard to do,
Yeah,
Right.
just for the wrong reasons.
To the point they get ratioed to the point that just no one fucking believes them about the meteor. I mean the comet. To the point that
that Arab, I forgot his fucking name, but he's like the head of NASA. So the head of NASA doesn't know she's. It's like, oh man, this
and
is so
he
real.
actually tries to be nice
real.
about it, but it's like, I mean, she is an anesthesiologist, not a fucking astrophysicist, so yeah, she literally fucking doesn't, but he doesn't want to be that mean about it.
Which is funny, and then we find out it's like, oh, she's an anesthesiologist that also was a mega donor or whatever. Basically contributed to the president's campaign, so of course got a big position in return.
By the way, anesthesiologists, incredibly qualified people, not astrophysicists or physicists of any kind.
That's what
if they're not in an operating room with a fucking gas mask, they're not really in their fucking comfort zone.
That's what I was about to say.
Not the director of NASA, basically.
No.
Yeah, it's like she's smart. Don't get us all wrong, but it's like you're not an astrophysicist. What are you doing here?
Right.
And then at the very end, you see her as like, she's the one who has to take the fall for it all. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, I'll resign in disgrace tomorrow. It's like, blah, blah, blah. And you can see in her face like, oh god, I am too good and too qualified for this. And I fucking hate it. But then it's just, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, bitch.
Basically.
And you get that actually with the news lady as well. The one Mindy gets an affair with, because she starts off and she just looks basically like a vapid bimbo doll who arrives at work already fucking drunk. And then later on, you get this scene where she talks about how, like, I've slept with 2 presidents, I own 2 monets, I speak 4 languages. I saw that in a meme, like, out of context, and it looks like she's just, like, really bitchily flexing about how big and great she is. The context absolutely reverses that. Yeah, it's like, he asked her, he wanted to get to know her, and it's only when she lays out all this shit, you realize, like, oh my god, no wonder you fucking drink at work. Holy shit, you are way too good for all this. What the fuck?
Yeah, and then he just counters with, I got my Star Wars poster.
Yeah, he starts talking about his fucking Star Wars poster, like,
which then Max tried to fucking do a dig at me. It's like, I didn't know you were in this movie. It's like, if I'm sleeping with fucking Galadriel, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, it's Kate Blanchett's like, yeah, that's fair, I guess. She's not looking bad in this movie, so, good on you.
I do like that in this movie they have Leonardo DiCaprio playing this kind of, socially a little bit awkward, kind of reserved, regular, boringish person, but it's like physically people are still acknowledging that he's fucking Leonardo DiCaprio underneath all that, like, Jesus Christ. Even the makeup girl is going through. Yeah, it's like, I really like your facial structure. And it's like, thanks. And then it's like, she's fucking flirting hard. Like, scene 1. It's like, she wants that dick immediately.
Well, yeah, it's because Leo with the beard, it immediately makes it better.
What was he? He was an Alf, an astronomer I'd like to fuck.
Yeah.
AILF, which stands for astronomer I'd like to fuck, and that is the end of the PowerPoint. And they're just like, oh, that's it?
I just loved all the fucking Jennifer Lawrence memes. They're so fucking stupid.
What's funny
the sticker the guy has on the skateboard is fucking good.
We're
all going to fucking die.
What's funny is she gets socially ostracized. Leo essentially becomes like a YouTuber, that debates people on fucking.
Yeah, he actually had to respond to dipshits on fucking Twitter. It's like, it's called the scientific method. It made the computer you typed your uninformed bullshit on. How do you feel about that?
It's so fucking cringe, dog. I love it.
And his wife
is literally fucking Twitter, and they nailed it.
And his wife is just going like, I'm gonna go on a walk.
You should go.
Yeah, I'm going to go outside. Like, she didn't say it, but you could actually hear the phrase "touch grass."
I'm gonna go touch grass. Yeah.
So let's see. So Jennifer Lawrence is socially ostracized. She's just going on a jog, and then an FBI person was pretending to be blind. No, we had an FBI person that was pretending to be blind as they were arresting her. It's like, were you pretending to be a blind guy?
Like, why didn't you just come to my apartment? What the fuck?
It's so real. I have a bag. Oh wait, that's the next part. I have a bag over my head. No. That's when the you better be taking me to the fucking Batcave.
Oh yeah, and then when they're arresting NASA man, they're just like, so my skin may be a bit shades darker.
Oh yeah, it's like he just sees them come out like guns already fucking drawn and pointed at his face, and he's like, easy. My ancestors just didn't migrate north into Europe and develop lighter skin pigmentation.
And then
it's funny because it's true.
But yeah, it's like if you look at the way the three of them were arrested, she was obviously being fucked with, but like from Mindy, they literally knock on the door and they let him answer. His wife answers like, someone's here for you. And he gets
And
down.
there's
Like,
20 agents and it's fucking house. It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, it's like you could have just asked him. Just sent him an email.
No.
He probably would have gone there.
It's a threat to national security. We need a whole fucking unit.
You need literally everyone. I just love how there's like too many people in this little hallway, and they're all here to arrest him,
including his wife. Like the wife's in the frame as well.
That's good shit.
We got Jonah Hill. That was like the bag wasn't even that was not even standard procedure.
The CIA does that. The FBI doesn't do that. I told them to do that.
I told them to do that for
funny and cool.
Because it's funny and cool.
He's just an asshole for particularly no reason.
Yeah,
because he's basically just a regular fucking douchebag who got to be chief of staff because his mom is the president.
His mom's the president.
And then, of course, as pointed out, when they call the president on her bullshit, and she just immediately just drops the facade, like, right, like...
Yeah, like a petulant child who's been caught.
But they're just glad something is gonna be done.
Yeah. At that point, they're like, fuck it, whatever. And like, she even admits it. She's like, I don't like you. I didn't vote for you. I don't give a fuck about you, but thank you.
Yeah, and then even when the president immediately starts talking, like, okay, and we can get you to like appeal to the disenfranchised youth. We got you to appeal to like the blacks, and then we got you for all like I don't know, the mills or whatever. And immediately talking about the spin, and they're just like, you know what? If it gets things done, I don't fucking care. Let's just go.
Yeah.
And we then bring in Max's favorite actor.
Oh yeah,
Ron Perlman.
So there was a gag going on. It's like, so in all the fucking movies we've been covering, they just happen to have Ron Perlman in them.
Wait, have they?
Except for Law Abiding Citizens, but like a lot of the fucking things we've been watching had Ron Perlman somewhere in the fucking thing.
Not to mention, like a few months ago, we were playing a lot of Payday. Who, guess what? Ron Perlman's in that
Perlman's
too.
in it as a fucking Payday gang. Yeah. So I brought it up to these guys, and they didn't understand. But Slur, you watch Red Letter Media, right?
Yeah.
You've watched their Best of the Worst with Cameron Mitchell, and how Cameron Mitchell's basically their mascot of their worst movies.
I don't know if I could remember it in that specific.
Gotcha. Well, basically, in a lot of the Red Letter Media Best of the Worst coverage, Cameron Mitchell, the actor, appears in a lot of those shitty movies. So I was saying that fucking Ron Perlman's our Cameron Mitchell.
And they basically, Ron Perlman's character is essentially the boomer generation all condensed into one human being.
He's from a different generation, okay?
Yeah, it was a different generation.
It's a different generation. What do they keep saying? I think they say it like 4
Well, they
times.
have to keep saying it because he keeps saying fucking abhorrent shit. Like he's going into space and like, and hello to that beautiful blue ball down there, and all the hard-working white people, and the Indians. The kinds with the bows and arrows, and the kinds with the elephants. Why did those guys never team up? That would have been so cool. Like,
so
and the fucking mission controller's just like, we're due to like launch the jet propulsion. Can we stay on topic?
No, he's already flying. Actually, they're like, can we stay on mission topic? Copy that.
He's like, yeah, Ron Perlman's a fucking gem as well.
At the end of the movie, he's just
And
shooting
I
a
just like to
machine
say a
gun.
prayer for stuff, because there's just like a lot of dope stuff.
There's a lot of dope
you know?
stuff, you know. Yeah, it'd be really sad if that was all gone.
I point at the end of the movie, he's firing a fucking machine gun at the
He's firing a
comet.
fucking machine gun at it, and it runs out of ammo. So
He
I'm
switches.
alive.
He switches to his sidearm because it's faster than reloading.
Exactly. Nice. Your meteor skills. Your meteor killing skills are unlocked.
I bet
What-
he also rolls everywhere instead of running because it's actually faster than that.
It's actually faster.
What? No, he bunny hops everywhere.
So yeah, so we get them launching, and fuck, what's his actual name? Jordan Peterson. Fucking
I'm gonna just call him Zuckerberg Peterson.
Zuckerberg Peterson walks in. He's like, "Oh, you were doing the launch. Hey, Miss President, can you come talk with me outside?" And so they go out, and like as the fucking thing's launching, and it turns around. The entire expedition turns around. It's like, wait a minute.
No. It's just course correcting. I was in the Navy.
I was in the Navy.
Shit, fucking got it. I was in the Navy. Like, as if, like, yeah, that's what this does.
It's like, it's
fucking-
pointing at the wrong planet, asshole.
Nah, it's turning around.
And then we get the next twist, which so
I love the fucking like juxtapositions of this fucking scene. It's pretty hilarious. But go ahead.
So with everything touches down, and they basically point out how the meteor actually has a lot of awesome computer-related materials, a lot of silicon, a lot of zinc,
Basically, a lot of stuff
lithium.
that like is used for osmium and all that shit. It's
Yeah.
all the shit that's used for fucking cell phone development and all sorts of technology.
And he essentially goes like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna use this drone technology to break it up into smaller bits so we can harvest it, so like other foreign governments don't have the chance."
And so this entire time he's talking, it's playing like this really hopeful and uplifting music, but it cuts to Jennifer Lawrence and Oglethorpe with Mindy in a bar, and like they're just being super realistic about it. Like the music just
has
cuts
any
off.
of this been peer reviewed? No.
Mm.
So
Well,
it's literally all just pretty talk.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
And he's just like, and forever is science. Playing
into
it
a
smelling.
new galactic
Galactic
future of
future.
human simulation.
And then it just cuts back to them, so it might not work. Like, the music just cuts out. It's like, oh god,
Yeah.
it's so good.
yeah, we have Leo in this scene actually being a human being and going like, "Wait a minute, what does this not matter if we all fucking die?" And Jonah Hill then goes, "Oh, we'll be dead, but we'll be rich."
Oh no, what if we get like super fucking rich and everything's awesome?
Now, the reason I wanted to kind of point this out, like, and like, this is a big contention. Do we actually believe this would happen, or do we hope that common sense would prevail and we wouldn't fucking
It is
immediately
obviously exaggerated for comedic effect, but a lot of the core issues that get brought up, like there are going to be some people who would try and profit from the situation. There are people who, because they don't understand the science, would just assume the science doesn't exist because they don't trust the people who said it. Like, these are all things we've seen in response to literally every other crisis that happens. That's the point of the movie. So, in that sense, yeah. This is not just how things could happen, but it's a reflection of the way things have happened. Which is what I
Right.
meant earlier when I said that the fact that this came out recently is why it hit so hard, even though the screenplay, or at least some first draft, was probably written a good few years ago.
Yeah, before
Mhm.
COVID-tisms.
Yeah. Well, some people were saying it's a commentary on climate change. It felt more like a thing in COVID, but maybe that's just because it's more prevalent.
Well,
now.
yeah, maybe it's just because COVID is like the more recent global catastrophe where people could have listened to scientists, but instead listened to the person on Twitter that already agreed with them.
Yeah.
Well, then you have the problem of, like, then scientists are also politically motivated instead of trying to just simply just do their job as scientists.
Yeah.
Well, see, this is what the anesthesiologist was. So
Yes.
as soon as one scientist comes out, it's like, hey, yeah, I actually work in the fucking lab that fucking saw this thing in the sky. Then you have, well, we have to be like fair and balanced in media. So we have this other person with very fucking obvious political ties who disagrees with you. And yeah, that is true to life, regardless of who's in power. And regardless of what side of any particular issue gets brought up. Which is why it's like that establishing first shit of the movie is so important. It's like all of these could literally have any political affiliation and it would still work. It's only towards the last half of the movie where it gets a little bit more specific as to who it's assuming is going to be on what side.
Yeah.
Where you get one side is don't look up, wear a red hat, and congregate in front of the White House to hear another fucking speech from an inarticulate fucking moron, versus go to an Ariana Grande concert and tweet the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to the point that once Leo shares the information with Jennifer Lawrence and the other NASA guy, they're at the bar, and then there's just immediate fucking panic.
No,
Like,
there's not. No, there's not. No, there's not.
No,
Like,
it's just a hard
person, hang on.
It's a hard
one person
cut.
one person overhears their conversation and goes, "Wait, what are you guys talking about? You're talking about the expedition thing?" And they go, "No, we weren't talking about that," because they're trying to cover it up to be like, "Oh no, we're just joking or whatever." And the entire bar catches on to it. She's like, we got kids, man. What do we tell them? We don't know what's going on." And that's when Jennifer Lawrence snaps and goes, "You know what?"
and
I mean,
then we smash cut to the
get
right.
the fucking riot.
And then Jennifer Lawrence with another bag over her head.
Yep.
That's good shit.
And it's just like, you know what? A lot of people's reaction would just be that. It's like,
And it's like, that's fair. I guess.
I mean, it's not an unreasonable response
What
to
was her
riot
exact-
when your government is letting you die for their own benefit.
And I was like, what was the exact line? She was like, "It's so fucking rich, people can get more richer."
yeah, she says something to that equivalent, and you just see the bar just shocked. Hard cut, somebody throwing a fucking table through a window.
Yeah. And then hard cut to her in the back of a fucking cop car with a bag over her head.
Mm-hmm. She then has to sign an NDA, basically saying like, yeah, you just don't talk about this shit anymore, and then she just goes into complete total apathy.
Yeah, she's like, fuck it, whatever, who cares?
And then she meets Paul Muad'Dib.
You know, I'm something of a, and he's also a god worshipping person. So like, you know, I'm something of a messiah myself.
Okay, I actually have seen some people say that his entire part in this movie just felt really unnecessary. I didn't get that. In fact,
I cannot.
The fact that he is so sincere is actually very necessary to drive home the point that was being made in the first half of the movie about everybody else. So you have President using religion in her language to like be very inspiring and American and yeah, I'm the one. Look at me, see this? Vote for this.
Mm-hmm.
Because God. And then you actually have him who actually just is sincerely a believer.
Mm-hmm.
And so you do get, the thoughts and prayers bullshit from her office. Is like, I'd like to say a prayer for the dope stuff. Versus at the very end, a bunch of people who aren't even religious, it just kind of feels like the thing to do. And then he just steps up and says like, hey, I got this. And balancing the sincerity against the thing that is actually being made fun of, it's not necessary to do because the joke will hit home regardless. But it's a nice thing to have in there. It's like showing what the positive aspect of this can be and why this broken, cynical version of it that we get spoon-fed in the media is so fucking poisonous in the first place.
Yeah, and
It's
it also
it's a
kind of
nice
works
touch.
for. And I say it also like helps with Jennifer Lawrence's arc because she kind of comes back to like, she kind of breaks free of her apathy because of this kid.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
if you
kids
met
might be a
the
bit of a stretch.
You know what
I
I mean?
think they're about the same age.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But just fuck it, whatever. Just, he reminds me of a bunch of shitty kids I hang out in high school with, like in that opening scene of his. But yeah,
yeah, and his eyes weren't even blue.
But oh,
No,
Dune.
it was a different kind of drugs, but yeah. Although that scene where you get like the college age stoners just kind of sitting around talking about how like coordinated and evil the corporate world is and all this stuff, and then you just have like one person who either has worked in that world or is just familiar with it or has just read enough about it to know it's like they're not as smart as you think. They're not smart enough to be as evil as you're giving them credit for.
Yeah.
That one line, that fucking hit me. That was ooh boy.
Basically, yeah.
Oh yeah, and when
I heard they have an escape ship.
Of course, they have an escape ship.
yeah, and then once the president is like calling Leo, it's like we have a ship. Of course, you have a ship.
Well, no, a little bit ahead, but yeah.
Let's see. After that, we finally meet them in the liquor store. Oh yeah, her ex-boyfriend who's just like, yeah, the media's gonna once again get us all these fucking jobs. I also just realized we missed the part with her parents. She gets home and she's like, Mom, Dad.
No politics.
We believe in the jobs the meteor will create.
That sentence is just fucking so ridiculous.
And yet, that is also just how it fucking is sometimes. Like, here's a catastrophe, but our political party said it's good, actually, because jobs and
jobs.
And then we get to the scene that Slur did the impression of earlier, where they're reviewing the drone, and Leo is just like, "Hey, has anyone else run your numbers? Like, I just want to make sure."
Has it been peer reviewed by literally fucking anybody?
And he goes, "I know where you're gonna die. You're gonna die alone.
You're gonna call me a corporate? Like, do I look like a corporate businessman to you?"
And I was like, half the time tempted to like, yes. As a matter of fact, you
kind of
literally yes. And also I did kind of like not include it in my thing because I was mainly just focusing on, I know how you're gonna die, you fucking bitches. Like that's like the funnier aspect of it. The more real and the better thing in the movie with regards to how it builds on characters and Mindy's arc is when he gets called out for being a lifestyle idealist. It's like you think you operate based on, a strong core of ethics and principles, but when you really dig down to your fucking core, you run towards pleasure and away from pain like everyone else. Like a field mouse.
Like a field mouse.
Which is 100% true, because the second he started gaining any popularity, he started getting hit on by Galadriel.
Yeah.
Immediately started that downward slope to the point that now he was directing people to the essentially the crisis hotline for the meteor. It's like, I'm a little worried. I've got questions. Call this number, and all your questions will be answered.
And the thing is, like that, Mindy could have been literally anybody, because almost no one is prepared to be fucking adored by the general public. No one's really ready for that, and no one's ready to have like just things that in your head were always just completely inaccessible. Like you wouldn't even have dreamed of having them because they weren't realistic. All of them just being fucking thrown on your fucking lap.
Yeah,
people aren't fucking equipped to handle temptation at that level when it's thrust upon them so quickly.
Yeah, overnight success and how it changes us.
And that, I think, is like the big difference between Mindy and... Her name is not fucking Galadriel. What actually is her name?
Bree, I think.
Brie. We'll just call her Brie. That's the difference between him and Brie. Brie, it's like when you actually find out about her life, she came from exorbitant wealth, and then she was extremely highly educated, probably traveled the world, has been in that world of the incredibly wealthy and well-to-do for so long that to her, these temptations mean nothing. It's not a corrupting influence, it's just a part of life. And then you get the scene wherein they get caught having the affair, and she's just like,
just
can we
routine
just
about it.
skip the bullshit and just skip to the part where we've been having a good time? Are we going to continue having a good time? And Mindy's wife is just like, you know what? That is basically the only question. And then he fucking shrivels up like a bitch because, of course, he does.
Yeah, of course.
And he gets some very well-deserved pill bottles thrown at his face. And then later on, when Mindy then breaks up with Brie, he's just like, I actually thought I loved you. And she's just like, really? That's wild. Because she actually is fucking hollow in that regard. It's like, because her world doesn't allow for that kind of shit.
Yeah, and it's like, will you stay with me? Nah, like not even like only like a couple seconds worth of hesitation.
It wasn't will you stay with me, is are you still there?
Yeah.
No. And then she leaves.
As he has his black bag over his head.
Yeah, another black bag.
Yeah. Apparently that's just a thing they do now.
It's just, I know. I just love the smash cut from him going crazy to bag overhead.
Like, why did you do that? I actually liked you, and I don't like anybody.
Yeah, and it's of course right after, like 2 seconds before, he was having his own meltdown, like Jennifer Lawrence was having, because by this point we're less than a month away, and they just still aren't getting it. In fact,
Jennifer Lawrence has the thing we forgot to mention. Jennifer Lawrence has the entire thing on her diet plan. So when her diet ends is when the meteor will impact.
And there's a lot of people that don't even believe the meteor's even fucking real.
Right.
Because of course there is. And this is kind of like another thing. It's like, you get all these people, they all say, oh, I don't trust the government. I don't trust the mainstream media. I don't trust them. I was like, okay. You don't trust them, so I was like, you want to like verify things yourself. I approve of this mentality until it becomes, I don't trust them. Therefore, the direct opposite of the thing they just said must be the truth. And now we're back in retard country.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, it's not do your own research. It's just, now the polar
opposite. Don't do research. Research might make you an expert, and nobody should trust experts.
Exactly.
Experts
maybe have their own
this
agendas.
Is big brain damage hours.
Hey, maybe since I don't know anything, that's a good thing.
Yeah, but do better.
Do better. Oh god.
President Orlean needed to do better.
So yeah, he snaps it and he ostracized basically. But it's at this point is when both him and Jennifer Lawrence, they actually could see the fucking meteor from from the ground without any telescopes or anything, and it's like, oh shit, it's right fucking there.
It's literally right fucking there.
Yeah, it's literally what they say. It's right there.
We were a little worried when they first visualized it. I was like, oh no, how big is it actually going to be? Because if it was like the size of the moon, it's like, oh, we're fucked then, like immediately. Because
well, no, we're fucked. We're fucked with like how big it was. They only said it was a couple kilometers long. That's enough to kill the entire planet.
Right. No, the point being is that with 30 days and it'd be the size of the moon, that means it's like spitting distance of the Earth. But thankfully, it's only like the size of a dot with a streak behind it. Because considering
at the speed that thing is going, by the time you can see it that big, you're already dead.
Yeah, exactly.
I was about to say, by the time you see it, it's pretty fucked.
Because we can see Venus on a fucking good day, essentially. Let's.
So and that's they when see it, and they're both reinvigorated to and that's where the movie's title comes in, because they're just like, hey, look up, it's right there, it's literally right there.
Yeah, and thus in
and
opposition,
the counter her fucking thing is don't look up, hey, but
they want you to look up because they are looking down their noses at you, just such obvious bullshit twisting of wordplay.
Yeah,
but it makes a good fucking soundbite, and people are like, "Yeah, fuck them, fuck experts, fuck knowing things."
Basically, get all those videos. Oh, don't look up. Stupid.
Oh,
Is
and you know,
that
it's
when
like,
Hassan makes his appearance?
wait,
Yes.
did Hassan make an appearance?
There's an
Yes, he
Indian
did.
there's an Indian guy who's opposed to the president. It's just like he looks like a Twitch streamer, and the way his apartment look and the way his hair and shit look, he kind of looks like Hassan. So I just made a joke. I was like, "Oh, look, it's Hassan."
And I think at that point I then went, it's like, oh, he's actually at his chair for once.
He's actually talking. That's
Well,
weird.
no, it's a Hassan stream. Don't turn up.
Oh no! God damn it, that's good.
You can change the trajectory of this comet with a phone call.
you can send nukes in the air with an email.
That one might be true.
That is actually kind of true.
Yeah, the president just emails the fucking nuke launch codes to the fucking secretary. He's like, oh, yeah,
No.
I know you're just like the receptionist at the White House front lobby, but like, could you run up to my office real quick?
And hit the fucking
Hey,
button,
my dude,
please.
it's the president, your boy.
It's your boy.
Hey, what up? It's your boy, President P.
What's up, gamers? Anyway,
We out here. It's lit.
It's lit.
I immediately just thought, what's up, geeks and gamers? We're gonna launch these nukes at the comet.
Dude, there was one guy who looked kind of what's his name? Jeremy from fucking Geeks and Gamers. It
Yeah.
kind of looked like him for a minute. I was like, ooh, like I was kind of like paying attention to the quote unquote like streamers thing or whatever they had to that part. I was like, what are they trying to say here?
Let's see. So we have this montage.
Oh, it might be
both-
out of order, but the scene with the fucking like Twitch chat log.
Oh, yeah.
Man. That was pretty spot on
I think
for
that's
Hollywood.
yeah.
During the montage, they go to like on a Muppets type show. What do you think of the meteor? We're all gonna fucking die.
You and everyone you know is gonna die.
I don't like him. He makes me sad. I'm
sad.
sorry about that, but tell your parents that you're gonna fucking die.
It's good shit. And so yeah, we get the Ariana Grande concert with her husband. And yeah. What exactly happened here? They have the concert.
No, it was before the concert actually starts. It looks like Mindy is actually addressing a huge crowd of people, telling them about the situation and how serious it is and what they can do and blah blah blah. And then it's like he forgets what he's actually there to do, and then she has to grab the microphone and be like, "Anyway, here's Ariana Grande."
He's like, oh, I forgot the name. Yes, yeah, Ariana Grande.
Yeah,
But yeah, what exactly happens next though? So they have the concert and all that shit. And,
they're having
I think one of the exact lyrics was, "Pull your head out of your ass and listen to the qualified scientists." But yeah.
So what's happening at the same time is a rally of the Don't Look Up people, and then one of the people with a big red hat on actually does look up. It's like, hey, it's right there, you fucking asshole! And they start throwing shit.
Right. You fucking assholes! You're gonna
You
hit me in
hit
the
my
face.
fucking face, you redneck.
You fucking rednecks, yeah.
Oh yeah, we forgot about the movie.
Oh yeah,
with Chris Evans.
He's very middle of the road. Well,
No, that's the thing. It's like extremely vapid Hollywood response is like trying to be very non-committal but saying the right thing. It's like,
And also has a button for a look up button.
it was no, it was pointing up and down.
yeah,
Oh, that's right.
I feel like we all just need to like stop being at each other's throat. There's so much division in this country. It's like, dude, anyone doing any media tour for anything is forbidden from using the word division. I fucking hate it. Shut up.
It's now banned from their vocabulary. Let's see. Get the concert. I think now by this point,
So yeah, but that's what I was trying to bring up. I was like, yeah, the and then the rednecks. But what happens the next day? Oglethorpe gets a phone call and a nuclear device goes off.
Yeah, the Chinese and the Russians were doing a launch together, a joint effort to basically do what they wanted the US to do.
Yeah.
But their one failed, and theirs was kind of it. All of their campaigning, all the political movement, all of the getting the word out there, collaborating with scientists around the world. This was the alternative. This was it. This was the mission. And it failed. And so now they're all in a position where we literally don't have the time to put another mission like this together. It is now basically up to that fucking weird fucking Joe Biden.
It's up to Jordan Peterson to nail it, and that's what they have to offer, and they know it's almost hopeless.
The meteor needs to clean its room.
And yeah, so at that point they kind of give up, and fucking Leonardo DiCaprio is like, "Fuck it, I want to go home with my wife." Like, and like that's exactly what he does. He goes to the grocery store, and like the juxtaposition of the launch of this crazy mission, and like Leo and Jennifer Lawrence just at a fucking grocery store.
Not just the launch, but also in the grocery store, you actually see people like looting and shit in the background.
Well,
and he's just going around with a shopping trolley.
Well, as I say, you don't actually see them run around the background, but you see the fucking grocery store in like disarray. It's all fucked up.
No, you see at least one person like behind them while they're talking, it's like running past, grabbing some shit, and running off again.
And also the fucking the highway was fucking empty as well.
I was actually about to point out with the previous scene when they find out the disaster. Leo just walks over to just a wall, and we just have this visceral like, fuck!
Oh god, I actually want you to use that clip or something. It's a good one. That's a really good expression. Hopeless frustration.
With people with anxiety, you fucking know when it's like, yeah, you just can't take it anymore, and you just let out that guttural fuck. The way they go to the grocery store, and yeah, it is fucking desolate. There's no one on the highway while they're on their way there. Timothy Chalamet's like, can I be vulnerable for a second?
Can I be vulnerable in your car, sir? And it's like, yeah, of course you can.
I don't know if you want to like do
space
stuff later, like get engaged or something. Like, sure, why not?
Yeah, he basically proposes to fucking Jennifer Lawrence, and she's like, fuck.
They essentially have their only hope is essentially a drone strike that they aren't even looking at. So they're just in see no evil mode right now.
Well, they're just in the same exact boat as literally everybody else now. Yeah. That's the thing. It's like they are in the position of everyone else, even though they are the ones who originally saw it. They're theoretically the most qualified, and they're not even in the room.
Yep.
They're not even allowed in the room. That's the fucked up part.
Yeah, legally they're not allowed. They signed the contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they've been moved off the grid. It's like, off the grid? What does off the grid mean?
That's very good. Yeah, and like I said, this so they start the launch, and it looks like it's going good. You know, all the hope playing, and then one of the fucking rockets combusts, and it's like,
it's okay, everything's fine. We're all fine. We have a margin of error. Like I said, we can do with at least 24 rockets. It's like, so how many can we lose? Like, sorry, what? How many can we lose and still be able to do it? It's like, oh,
how many more?
I need the bathroom.
No, he goes, how many more? As in, like,
because he's so fucking laser focused on nobody should feel any negative thing ever that he literally doesn't consider negative outcomes. It's like the thought that they might lose more rockets doesn't fit in his brain.
Also, right as they were launching, the president asks, like, call back to the algorithm joke, how do I die? Oh, you die by this, like, a
bronze rock.
I don't even know what that means.
It's called something called a bronze rock. So yeah, the mission completely fails. Like they lose synchronized explosions. A bunch of the drones go down and like run into each other and shit like that. And it's like, oh fuck. And
You, by the way, while this was happening, while each failure was happening, you were like, happy ending, right? And
Another happy ending.
meanwhile, I was just like, they're all gonna fucking die. It's this.
they're all
It's,
gonna die.
Yeah.
it's
I
this type
kind of called this from very early in the movie. It's like, yeah, if this is going to be a satire on how they deal with a crisis, the crisis is going to win.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it is.
I made a
So yeah,
I made a split-second comparison to Seeking a Friend at the End of the World, because I believe that movie also ends with, like, they don't stop it. They also die in that movie.
yeah. It's it's really depressing. So Mindy patches things up with his wife. He goes home to his kids and he brings Jennifer Lawrence, and Oglethorpe shows up too, and they all have a really beautiful and final meal. And Paul gives a last minute prayer. And,
Even you did it.
I don't know his fucking name. He's the guy who fucks Jennifer Lawrence. Anyway, Paul gives a really nice end prayer, and it's like sweet, really beautiful moment. And on the news, before that, while they're making dinner, they see on the news that it's like, oh, the drones have been destroyed, blah blah. And as they do that, fucking Mindy just turns the TV off, and they just.
But there was one other thing in that little quick thing. There is only one news story on everyone's mind tonight: topless care centers.
Yeah.
I forgot about Alex Jones.
Yeah. Like, I just love that, like, yeah, the world's falling apart. It's like, don't worry about it. Yeah, like I said, the ending's really depressing and sad. I fucking kind of hate it.
Dude, watching them, determinedly having boring, normal conversations as they can feel the rumbling start.
And, there's a point where you can see, their, hands or shit like that. Like, Mindy is holding his wife's hand, and he, the way he grabs his son, and it's like, man, you know what I mean? It's just it's so fucking real.
They're doing that while you can hear the tremble come into their voice, while they are determined to stay on topic about homemade versus store-bought apple pie.
But they're also having a hard time with it because you can hear their their hands are shaking. It's like, oh, dude, it's so awful. It's so bad.
It's really well done.
It's
holy fucking shit.
And then the fucking I just remember fucking feeling so much dread watching the fucking there's a part where there's these guys a mountain pass and you see the fucking meteor cut across the sky and it's like, oh god, it's like, fuck, dude.
What hit me actually was the baby being baptized. Actually, I was just like, okay, fuck.
Yeah, but right before the baby being baptized, you see people on the shore next to where the meteor hit, and they just get vaporized, and it's like, oh my god, it's
honestly probably one of the best places to be.
Probably, yeah.
Fuck
you're
it,
right.
yeah, it's instantaneous. Fuck it.
And yeah, there's a
either that or the orgy, but
yeah. There's people and it's a nice thing. You see animals like that, you see humpback whales and stuff. You see everything basically in its final moments. And there's even a really depressing shot of what looks like somebody's hand who just committed suicide, and it's like, oof, it's all bad. It's nothing's good about that shit. It's we get an awesome slow motion shot of them in their last moments. And you literally see the house combust in slow motion behind them. It's pretty good. It's, like I said, it's depressing as fuck.
Yeah, it happens in slow motion and then all at once.
And all at once, and it's like...
Alright, so yeah, this movie isn't funny at all, guys. It's not even a comedy, don't worry about it.
It's fucking... In the last minute, it stops being a comedy. It's like, oh, fuck, dude.
Well, I mean, if I remember correctly, with the actual definition of satire, it does not automatically mean it needs to be funny.
True.
It just needs to get its point
Yeah,
across.
it's mainly that it's... See, a lot of satire historically, especially political satire, it wasn't even about being funny. It was about presenting an idea that you disagree with in a light that shows how and why you disagree with it. So satire doesn't describe funny, satire describes a style of telling things.
Right.
It's just usually funny because that's a very good way of doing
it. In terms of showing off the power of the meteor when it collides, we see the we see the effects of it. It's so fucking powerful that it sends a good chunk of like the Midwest, like specifically where our characters were previously at, into fucking orbit.
And it's like, oh my god, like they really show how fucking horrible this fucking thing was. It's horrible. But we get a nice juxtaposition with the rocket, the escape ship, taking off. And oh yeah, this was like Wyatt's favorite part. But yeah, the president and Jordan Peterson, they are on
and
a
bunch
plane.
of like oil company executives.
Well, no,
and
before
executives and
before that, they're on a plane, and she calls Mindy.
yeah.
And she's like, I have enough room for you and one other person, your wife, Bree, whoever you want. And she's like, nah, I'm good. You have a good time with Jack. And she goes,
who? Oh fuck!
And it just cuts to Jonah Hill.
Fucking depressing. He's just sitting
She's
there
coming back, right?
in a lone command office because everybody just ran away from the command center, going, "Oh my god, I want to see my husband. Oh my god, I need to be with my daughter." You know what I mean? It's like, and he's just by himself. She's coming back. It's like, ooh, so fucked.
Although, you go from that to the Jonah Hill is in that bunker, the command center. During the credit sequence, when you do get everybody's like thing in space as credits, like the glasses, the bracelet, all this, you get his briefcase, and that's his credit thing.
Mm-hmm.
So he did actually die. It's like that very end credit thing. It's just a gag.
Yeah,
he's dead.
Yeah.
We ain't out here, and it's not lit.
Well, no, yeah. If you do the math, I'm sorry. If it's powerful enough to send chunks into orbit, I'm sorry. No,
everybody's dead. Like that's it. Like that's the end of that. But yeah. So yeah, after that horribly depressing fucking ending, we get this really hilarious thing where 22,900 years later, and what was it? Like 58% of them made it, or some shit like that.
58% of one of the pods.
Better than predicted. Only 40% people died.
Yeah, when they're all deploying to the new Earth planet, and you just see one of the pods, of course, malfunction and just collide into a fucking mountain.
Right.
And then
nice little touch with the Miss President having a tramp stamp, by the way.
For some reason. I understand, when they were in the pods, they were naked. It was a little weird when they stepped out of the pods, they were still naked. It's like, no,
it was supposed to be a fucking, Adam and Eve.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were going
this is
for.
the new world, this is the rebirth, this is the dawn of the new age of humanity in its new home, and, nope. Because the people who actually ended up here are the people with absolutely zero practical skills, and they're all just a bunch of old, decrepit rich fucks.
Yeah, I was thinking of that while they were all just hanging out. It's like, none of you are you're all past the age where you can all procreate. The human race is gonna die, anyway.
Well, the human race is gonna die in 2 seconds because of the Bronze Rocks.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's a Bronze Rock.
So I almost said Hillary Clinton. So Miss President sees an animal and walks up to it, and she's like, "Oh, it's so beautiful," and it's like, and then it fucking bites her head off and starts eating her, and it's like, "Oh my god!" And they're like, "What is that?" And without missing a beat, fucking Jordan Peterson's like, "I believe that's a Bronze Rock."
And then a bunch of other animals start coming in, and
more Bronze Rocks.
Yeah, it's a pack of Bronze Rocks. Like, whatever you do, don't pet them.
Don't pet them.
Yeah, so the human race, it's died on 2 separate occasions.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice little gut punch of oh god, we didn't win.
Yeah, and also fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we get as we already mentioned, the super post-credit scene of Jonah Hill, just like, last man on Earth, like and subscribe.
Oh, I didn't see that.
We out here.
Yeah,
what?
Wait, we've been referencing it this whole fucking time.
Yeah,
well, he says it's lit fucking multiple times in the
Slur pointed it out, and while we were waiting for you, Ninja and I watched it.
Oh, okay.
He does just we of course called bullshit because again, maybe you're strong enough to send chunks into orbit. I'm sorry, nobody fucking survives.
We do actually see his briefcase in the actual credit sequence as well, so
yeah.
I was about to say, even
canonically dead, but we do get this little gag at the very end, just Jonah Hill being the last man on Earth.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, even if he did survive, like, he's not lasting long. Like,
Oh yeah, he's got no survival skills. He'll die in like a week.
well, no, not that. The fucking world is devastated. It's gonna be like 1,000 years before, like,
Oh, yeah.
dealable. Like, he's
Mhm.
fucked.
Yeah, it's like the atmosphere no longer supports fucking life.
Yeah. It is now literally inhospitable. It's like that Fringy's favorite commenter. Yeah, Mars is technically inhospitable. Anyway.
I'm just looking at the last few minutes where it's everybody's either partying, drinking, you see looting, we see the news hosts, and it's like, what do you want to do? We could fuck, we could do all this
Get
stuff.
drunk.
Let's just drink and talk shit about people.
I actually quite like that moment.
Yeah.
I did as well. Yeah, that's. I think. Did we missing anything, guys? Or
That's it. Like, no, I didn't even know about the goddamn Jonah Hill post credit scene.
I mean, I guess we'll watch it whenever we turn off the stream.
Yeah,
so why not?
I'll check it out. I'll check it out later.
This was a powerful fucking movie, man.
It's some good shit.
Yeah, you're
Very
both laughing, crying. Oh yeah, there's a fucking video call wedding, as well. You see, you see some people getting down, getting jiggy with it.
Getting jiggy with it.
They were fucking.
Is Wu-Tang a good band?
Can I get jiggy with them?
Can I get jiggy with them? Oh, don't worry. I was just trying to trigger you.
Can I get down with the woo?
Is that like
thank, bro?
Is that like getting down with the sickness?
Remember listening to Get Down with the Sickness, and his mom comes in and starts beating his ass. Anyway, yeah. Glowing recommendation. Movie. Fucking, we love this movie. It's hilarious. It's depressing. You should check it out.
What would we put it on the number?
Probably a fucking 8 for me.
Yeah, I think about an 8.
This might
like, even going through it again now, like, in terms of just logical coherency, there's almost nothing. It's like anything logically incoherent or anything you would point to as like an objective flaw in the narrative, it's going to come down to things that were exaggerated for comedic effect.
Exactly.
Which, you're taking a hit in terms of strict coherency, but you're taking a boost in making jokes land, in just putting more jokes in and making sure the tone stays consistent, and it's funny where it wants to be. It's dramatic as fuck when it wants to be. So everything it does, it executes really well.
Oh yeah.
I think
maybe a 9 actually. I don't even know. Like, I don't like it's kind of weird. I don't really notice any flaws. Ninja, what do you think?
I could easily see an 8 or a 9. I also do not have any particular, issues or complaints.
This might be the closest to a 10 for me, and I'm somebody that absolutely hates using a 10.
Right.
I can't think of any flaws. This is, like, I don't want to say this is it. This is the perfect movie, but it's pretty damn good, and honestly, even its themes are really fucking good.
Themes.
Yeah.
How do I make you feel?
Like, I know we don't normally use those words.
Sad and anxious.
Sad, anxious, and kind of laugh my ass off at times.
Yeah, I think that about does it. We've recommended this movie no matter what. Like, fucking watch it.
Watch the movie and make sure to take your vitamin.
Oh yeah, the phone survived. I forgot about that. Congrats, your diet is over. Yeah, I think that'll about do it. Unless anyone's got anything else to say.
No.
Shut up.
Yeah, I mean, we had our initial comments. We went through the whole movie. I think I'm covered. All
right. This This is a short one. We're not feeling the best, so it's whatever.
I mean, we kind of knew it would be when we went in, but actually, what did we clock in at? Because it feels like it's been like about
we're almost like at an hour 45. This is
really
this is our shortest one yet so far. So thank you all so much for watching. We shall see you next week. Bye.